Greetings, everyone. This is Jimmy, and I'm here to show you how to make kombucha, and it's really quite tasty. And I'm starting with the process of actually harvesting. I'm at the very last step, and as we go along, I will show you how to make some wonderful kombucha for yourself, for health and wealth, of course. All right, actually the last step is harvesting kombucha, and I'm going to show you briefly all the material that you need for it. First, you need some glass jugs, like the lemonade jugs, or something like this. And I use Positive Energy Tea from Yogi. I use organic sugar and spring water. It's always best to use the most natural water when you make kombucha. And that's basically it for the ingredients. The last ingredient is the SCOBY, which stands for Symbiotic Culture of Yeast and Bacteria, or bacteria and yeast. And you need to acquire one of these from someone else who makes kombucha. They're usually happy to give them away. And I'll move along here to the harvesting step, and what I have is a funnel with a little screen, and you can use growlers to harvest your kombucha. I'm finding these plastic bottles that are the Akai, what is it called? Yeah, these Akai drink that you get at Costco. It's a perfect bottle to harvest kombucha in, and you can actually take this wrapper off. Okay, so I'm going to harvest the rest out of this larger jug here that I have, like so. Just holding back the SCOBY so it doesn't flop out of there. And typically you don't want to have metal touch the SCOBY per se. I don't know if that's a superstition, or a wives' tale, or a man's tale. Now on the bottle, or excuse me, on the container that you grow the kombucha in, I cover half of it with plastic, because I use a seed or a plant heating pad to keep it warm. Another part of the heat that I put underneath it is the timer. I've set the timer to basically half time because it gets a little too warm if it's on all the time. So I set the timer up. It looks like it's gotten adjusted or bumped here, but basically an hour on, hour off, and or the likes. Now you want to keep it in your kombucha in a warm space. I have this little nice little corner unit with a garage door on it to put my kombucha in there and keep it dark, of course. Okay, if you don't have a dark space like a closet, you can always just put a towel over it. Another part of the kombucha piece here is we get fruit flies here in Alaska. They come in on the bananas. After the plastic is covered halfway, you want to seal the top and have a rubber band around that so that the bugs don't get in there, because they love to grow in there. So the next container is one of the lemonade containers, and on this I use just a coffee filter with the rubber bands around it. And here again, we'll harvest the kombucha. Like so. There's a beautiful, say that, but it's mighty good. All right, so then the next container, obviously get it set up in your sink. And I'm leaning the, oh, this is a small one. This is a big one. The larger container. I'll do it one more time. So this is a little bit tricky. You don't want to tip it over. And if the fruit flies do fly in your bucket or your jug, you can just blow them out of there and just don't let them grow in there. One time I had some kombucha and there were little larvae swimming around in it. Kind of funny. And this is wonderful fresh kombucha. I mean, you'll pay $3-4 for a small bottle, maybe something like this. And here you have the ability to just make it yourself. So I'm going to keep this covered. So, another jug. And I got 2 more, and I'm going to run out of jugs, so I'm going to have to probably use one of my growlers. And I'm going to finish this up here. Okay, I'm on the last jug. Now this one, I didn't get too much growth on the SCOBY. Usually it'll grow to 1/4 inch or so. And so what I'm going to do is just drop the straw into the top of the mixture, give it a taste, which is absolutely delightful. I think the key to this kombucha is you're not using black green tea or a black caffeinated tea. You're using this light positive energy tea, and it comes out almost like ginger ale. It's really nice. I wish you could taste it. And some of my friends obviously can taste it, the ones here in Anchorage, because I take this to the full moon meditation. And everybody loves it. The other thing that I do that's kind of interesting is I'll take beer and I'll top it off with this kombucha. I mentioned it to one of my friends and they were like, what? But it actually tastes good because I like both flavors. Now, to have kombucha, you can have it on the rocks, you can drink it straight, you can, after this harvesting process, what I'll do, and I'll show you, is I'll put some fruit in there, fruit juice actually, from our garden, raspberries, and maybe a little 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon, to give the kombucha a boost. It's called the second ferment. So here we have it, 4 nice jugs of kombucha. And now I'm going to show you actually how to make it. Okay, so next step is you set these aside, your jugs. You can put them back in your container. Make sure the tops are sealed so the bugs don't get in there. And so the kombucha, or the SCOBYs inside, they can just rest and hang out in there and do what SCOBYs do. So to actually get started on making it, I've got some water in here, and what I'm going to do is add some more spring water. I'm going to put 1 cup of sugar per each container, each, call them lemonade server things. So this is a cup, and I'm actually going to put 3 in because I have 3 jugs. Again, it's organic sugar. Usually I'll boil the water first, but might as well just show you this part. 3 cups of sugar like that. And then for each jug, I will use 2 tea bags of the Yogi Positive Energy. I just happen to have just enough for another batch left. 6 will go in there. And I will boil the water, dissolve the sugar, and then let it cool. Put it back in with the SCOBY, and you're on your way. In about 3 weeks, you get great kombucha. Okay, so here we have the tea being made and the water all dissolved. And I'm going to just take it up to temperature and let it sit and cool off. Usually I put it outside. And once that happens, the next step is simply to recharge your growing containers, your jugs, and keep them warm, give it lots of love, and you have delicious kombucha to serve to your guests, and they will be astounded. Okay, we're back, and at the stage of making the kombucha, I have made the tea, and it's cooled down. It's also got a little bit of a sheen on it, but you can see it's got a nice dark, hopefully you can see it's got a nice dark, deep color to it. And then I have my 3 jars of the grow jars, I guess you could call them, where I've got the SCOBY is inside. Equally take the concentrate, the sugar concentrate. I'm going to equally distribute the sugar concentrate, 1 in each, till I use them all up. I'll use up what juice I have, and something that might be helpful is to remove the plastic so that I don't spill and waste the sugar water. The kombucha tea. Let's see, this one's next. And then from here, I'm just going to guesstimate the amounts and finish it off. Put a shot in each. Again, this is the concentrated sugar. Top these things off with the fresh water. And you don't want to get them too full. Leave a little room for the SCOBY to grow. And after that, and I'll put the plastic on halfway. And this just basically prevents evaporation, but lets the kombucha breathe. I found it's kind of the right thing. You don't have to do this, but I found that if the water was too hot, I mean the pad got too warm, I would lose about 1/4 of it, which I could add water to, but I just didn't want to hassle with it. Alright, so let's bring this over here. There's the finished bottles, actually, the ones I just harvested. I've got my seed pad here, okay, like so. No bugs. now. Okay, so you can put a new coffee filter on top, rubber band. Make some room, just in case. So now you have the SCOBY inside and some nice fresh sugar, and all of that sugar will be digested. And when that's done in about 3 weeks, you get fresh, delicious kombucha. And that will do it. I will put instructions down in the description. I have a little recipe, so if you like to read, you can also get the instructions down there. And I just found the cover to the last kombucha jug. So I put these on the sugar, the seed pad, the seed warmer. Put the last top on, and what I suggest is when you first make this, just to taste it every week, and you can put a straw in, pop out, give it a taste. If you like it a little sweeter, you can harvest a little earlier. Usually about 3 weeks is it, and you are good to go with Jimmy's fresh kombucha with Positive Energy Yogi Tea, and you have a great day. Put this away. And we're good to go. Send out lots of love.